to participants in the challenge. It's a man and a woman, completely foreign, placed in the wildest places in the world. There is no food, no drinking water, and no clothes. They must survive for 21 days. If completed, you will receive a $100,000 reward, equivalent to 2.5 billion Vietnamese currency. Do you dare to join? In this episode, the two participants are Fernan, 40 years old, and Donnie. The 31-year-old was taken to a humid tropical rainforest, wet and dangerous in Ecuador. This is also one of those places, a concentration of predators, most in the world, from blood-sucking mosquitoes to black crocodiles and jaguars. Stop around a freshwater lake full of predatory fish, with annual rainfall up to 3,000 millimeters, turning this place into a murky swamp. In the rainy season, we only see the sun twice a month. When you get there, you both have to take off your clothes. When they got into the boat, it was raining. They had to find shelter. When the rain stopped, they met in the forest and had a good chat. Survival tools including 8 small knives and lighters. See map. They decided to cross the river to the lake and find a camp. The continuous rain makes the ground not dry. They had to wade through the swamp to slow it down. On the road, Fiona saw a snail. Let Danny eat. But she says she doesn't eat meat. She's vegetarian. That surprised Fiona. To the river they found moss. And it's also home to black crocodiles. There was no other way, they had to swim across the river. While swimming, a crocodile showed up and scared Danny off. Fortunately, there was no accident. To the shore, Danny removed the leech from his leg and went on. She then applied a lot of mud to protect herself. To avoid mosquito bites. At sunset, both have not yet reached their destination. Instead, find a drier place to camp for the night. When it was dark, they hastily pitched their tent and collected tin materials. Fiona's still busy setting up camp at night, while Danny starts to take care of his own survival. After lighting the fire, it rained heavily to extinguish the fire. The people were wet all night. The next morning it was still raining. They drank some rainwater and continued their journey. At noon we both went to a small river. Decided to camp here because of the rich raw material. The rain is getting louder. They had to camp in the rain and go to sunset. Just finish. Unfortunately, when the rain was over. That night Fiona tried. But because of the humidity, it didn't work until midnight. They can't sleep when they're bitten by mosquitoes. Day B8, Danny pitched his tent on the wood and Fiona laid the wood. Danny and then found a rotten fruit that had fallen under the tree. Fiona takes the larvae in it to eat. Danny asked for its taste, and Fiona said it was like bacon. Fiona then collected tin wood to burn, and they both finally started a fire. Danny was moved to tears. After boiling, they drank water. On Wednesday, Danny liked to knit, so he started making baskets. But Fiona thinks it's useless. Instead, we should make fish traps. On Thursday, Danny made shoes, and Fiona thinks they should find food. Two people disagree. That afternoon, Fiona lived for food and unfortunately was bitten by insects. Bitten through the blue sky. Day 6. After collecting 10 sticks, Fiona offered to find food. Danny refused. I want to make more stuff. Fiona complains that they came here to survive. Not making furniture 7, but I finally did Danny's bidding. Afternoon, Fiona was so hungry that she went to the river to fish alone, and Danny found a papaya from a broken tree. Bring back to share food. Fiona's insomnia got worse that night because of Danny's snoring. To the 7th day, Danny continued to knit the basket. Fiona collect tin wood, but I'm not happy that Danny did this for nothing. It doesn't help for survival. So we decided to talk. As a result, the two quarreled. To prove yourself useful, Danny secretly made a wood scissors rack for Fiona, but the experiment didn't work. Fiona, I joke that if you use it as a spoon, it might work. Back to camp. Fiona is even more puzzled by Danny's strange behavior. Danny also realized Fiona doesn't care about her creativity and feel useless. On day 8, Fiona started self-checking. I don't think I should treat Danny that way. It's hard because Danny is a girl. Back, Fiona tried to compliment Danny. Despite the fake praise, Danny was happy. The 9th day, Fiona kept looking for food, discovered some wild fruits, and suddenly caught a snake. Bring back the wild fruit to prepare the meal. Fiona roasted the snake herself and ate it all. It started to rain that night. The growing rain makes them nervous, whether the shelter can withstand. To the 13th day, Fiona offers to try drinking raw water from the flowing river. Danny did not hesitate to try it. He joked that Fiona had to go with him if she got sick. Fiona teased that she'd build a memorial to Danny. 14th day, Danny made a toothbrush. Fiona joked that Danny accused her of bad breath, but when I try it, it feels good. Until the 15th saw Danny drinking raw water without sow. Fiona also drinks Theo. The storm was worse that night than last time. They both worried all night. Day 18, Danny goes looking for food. Found a papaya that was eaten in half by ants, and Fiona's cutting down a palm tree for food. Danny also found a big snail. I didn't eat meat, but I brought it back to Fiona. That night they cooked palm tree cores and roasted snails. Enjoy a delicious dinner together. Day 19, because the current location takes 2 days to arrive, so they're predicting it's going to take 2 days to get out, and decided to replenish food before departure. Danny finished the fishing cage. Fiona went into the river to catch fish, and Danny found more papaya and roots. Fiona, I saw a lonely tiger fish jump down. Fortunately, he was alone, and he followed the flock. Fiona, maybe it's because of their sharp teeth. In the afternoon, Danny roasted the roots, and Fiona roasted the tiger fish. Day 20, Danny brought a lot of dry wood, and Fiona's got the ignition gear. After seeing the map, they began their retreat. The first day, they walked through 10 kilometers of forest, faced danger from jaguars and venomous snakes, and set up camp under a big rice tree. The last day, they continued 7 kilometers to cross a river full of ferocious tiger fish. That afternoon, they went to a cemetery. Danny, he said it's not a good place because there's a lot of venomous snakes. They kept going until sunset to reach their destination. While collecting 10 materials, Fiona was accidentally bitten by a worm. It hurts my teeth. 21st day map. That means they need to go another 7 kilometers to get to the exit point. We both hurried off. That afternoon, they came to the bank of a small river. There is no way back. They risk overcoming it. Face the risk of being attacked by predatory fish. After crossing the river, they kept going for another 2 hours and finally reached the retreat point in the afternoon, where they saw a trailer waiting. Both have completed the challenge. After 21 days of testing, Fiona lost 14 pounds and Danny lost 12. Join the challenge without food. There is water and no clothes. It's one of the survival programs, the most risky in the world. 5 production teams from a large fan base chose a raw male and a female to take them into the wilderness. Nothing but themselves and their survival instincts. If they succeed, they'll get a $100,000 reward. The first one was a girl named Mary. I'm also a big fan of the show. She described herself as a pretty stupid girl and regularly practiced survival skills, even go camping in the park. At the age of 19, she became the mother of 3 children, and her maternal instincts gave her many advantages. You don't understand why the participants. I gave up quickly before. They always say they only leave when they're carried on a stretcher. You decide not to give up. The next one is Justin, a nurse in the emergency room. You think your biggest advantage is your ability. Make decisions quickly. After knowing I was chosen, I've started practicing at work. As a child, his father used to take him hunting everywhere. So, he's learned a lot of basic survival skills. I also hope for a challenge this time. It will take place on an island, to be able to show off her fishing skills. According to the old rules, both entered the official challenge. Need to go through the locks, training from experts. Survive this time. they were left in the primeval forest of Choctaw, Sandy, Nicaragua, one of the most difficult challenges in the program for the fans. Because of the difficult political situation, food and water are scarce. Therefore, the contestants have to compete with the animals, ferocious wildlings, to seize the limited resources. After the boat they were on docked, they took off their clothes. They met at the beach, and as soon as they met, Justin pointed to a crow in a tree and said, "Look at that beautiful parrot." Survival tools that they brought with them this time included a small knife, lighter, and a rice cooker. The map shows that to get to the freshwater area, they had to walk through the thorny forest. Be wary of lions at the same time. Hungry mountain, and the big animals tend to defend territory. There are also coral snakes. Can make people stop breathing in just a few hours. There are many venomous snakes here. Even the cameraman was bitten. Emergency services must be provided. The left leg. It's really harsh. Along the way, the red oak tree kept making Marcy hurt. When you go, Justin picked up 11 Leo strings and then saw a papaya tree. You helped Marcy pick some papaya. It's not that far. He collected 10 more dried mushrooms to use as food. After 3 hours of walking, Justin saw Marcy going slower and slower. You are a tall man. Don't say anything. Pick up Marcy and move on. After an hour, you stop to rest. Right now, the monkeys in the tree started showing their attitude to them. He even threw things at Justin. Not long after, both of you go to the river, find a clearing, and start a fire. Next, they started pitching tents even though it was dark. Justin had to sit in a bed. Because they used to sleep in bed, they couldn't sleep. The next morning, Justin started using leopard cords to make grass slippers for both of us. The harsh environment made Marcy start to feel the pain, and she understands why the previous contestants gave up. That afternoon, when Justin's long slippers were finished, I feel they're still too hard, so you put another layer of mud on it. Marcy, I felt very sad and started thinking about giving up. After a protracted ideological struggle at noon, Marcy decided to withdraw from the challenge. Justin couldn't be convinced. Let Marcy go. You're the one who withdrew the fastest ever. After Marcy withdrew, Justin started out looking for food. I saw a bird in the tree. He picked up the stones, but the bird flew away. In the afternoon, he was busy building a shelter for the camp. At night, the howling of animals that make you unable to sleep. The third day of the challenge, Justin noticed his feet were full of sand. To avoid infection, I jumped in the shower. After coming ashore, he started building fish traps. After completion, he knocked on the white termite nest, took a little, and dropped it in the water. Until the fourth day, when checking the fish trap, I didn't catch anything. The mood becomes very hopeful. To the shore he wandered and saw a gourd. I tried to eat it, but I couldn't swallow it. Go back to the cherry blossom camp and cook. But the result is just a pot of black water. On Thursday afternoon, he continued to crab in the water. After a long struggle, I only caught a few small crabs. I cook them and eat them at night. Because your feet are festering, I can't sleep all night in pain. To the seventh day, Justin's legs are still no better than hungry. Makes me start to feel blurry and dizzy. While looking for food, I saw a crab cave and immediately started digging. But I don't know that. This crab has a very complex tunnel system in the ground and their bodies. It can be hard for people to detect. After digging, you didn't catch anything. Because we can't find food, I get tired and act slowly. Getting ready to sleep in the evening, he was bitten on the leg by a snake. The medical staff immediately came to treat you. After cleaning the wound, the poison slowly seeps into the body, forcing you to be hospitalized immediately. Justin finally reluctantly had to leave the challenge. After 7 days, Justin lost 8 kilograms. Let's go to the next couple. Old buffalo graze young grass. Sometimes people worrying about not having enough to eat. Suspects young grass brings itself, but old buffalo is complicated and beat people. The program requires you, a pretty girl with no clothes or food, survive in the wild for 21 days. Successful will get 100,000 United States dollars. The weather and terrain are good, but the companion, you made me angry, and walked away. A girl named Jinmu works as a baker. Gentle appearance. He was expelled from school 7 times. At puberty she got pregnant and gave birth. But no regrets. They learn survival skills themselves. Hunting and tent making proficiency. Wood lighting is also easy. Join the challenge to prove that I can take care of my daughter. His companion was Gary, a retired police officer, passionate about outdoor activities from a young age. He has 7 children with his wife. Come here. He wanted a little spice for a boring life. Challenging location on the Pacific coast of Panama. A place full of wild boars, poisonous spider, and red blanket 3 with meters mosquitoes long, and crocodiles overflowing. They travel in small boats provided by the program, where you're supposed to undress and wear a masking effect. Gary says if your partner wants to give up, you will find ways to encourage survival gear including rope, Gary's kite, and Jinmu's fire drill. After determining the direction on the map, they're going inland to avoid the crocodiles. To the place. They build a makeshift shelter, but they couldn't start a fire. They both have to stay in the cold all night. If I had you here, would you survive? Please leave a comment and let me know. To the second day, Jinmo gets up early and tries to start a fire again. But the material is not dry enough, so it's still 7 failures. All morning in vain. It has been almost a day without replenishing dry throat water. Gary decided to drink the water directly from the spring. I hope there's no animal carcasses upriver. After water replenishment, Jinmu keeps trying to light the fire, but Gary had completely lost hope. It's getting dark quickly. They both froze in the camp, moaning. They couldn't sleep that night. On the 3rd day, Jinmu suggested hugging to keep warm, but Gary refused. Because you think being close with other women, wife is not in line with her values. Jinmu insists on only hugging to keep warm, but was questioned and rejected by Gary. Gary started criticizing. Jinmu brings unfamiliar tools. They both can't survive. Jinmu was so angry that he wanted to give up. But think about girls. You decide to continue. Afternoon while Gary slept, Jinmu tried to start a fire again and finally succeeded after 7 failures. Gary saw the fire. I immediately changed my attitude and praised her. To keep the fire going, they need a lot of wood. Gary just tightened his breath for a moment. Remember when you never chase criminals 10 miles tirelessly. It's hard to cut a piece of wood now. Gary realized that 35 years had passed, and he was no longer the same. Gary's health is getting worse. Jinmu rushed to call the medical team. Test results show that his blood pressure is unstable. It can lead to cardiac arrest. The doctor advised him to leave the challenge. After thinking, Gary decided to withdraw. Sorry Jinmo for leaving you alone. He regretted leaving his team. But there's no choice. Jinmo sobbing in front of the camera. Even though there was a fire, but the mosquitoes still drive you almost crazy. To the 5th day, so as not to touch the sad feelings, Jinmo removed the old tent and rebuilt it. Then she went to the beach to find food. Picked up a big coconut in the rocks. But after a lot of effort to separate, I discovered the meat was broken. Jimmy came back to camp hungry and crying. In my head imagining out the delicious food, but still have to try. She found a fallen coconut under the tree. And that's the first meal in days. Jinmu feels there is hope. But at night 3 wild boars burst into the camp. It scares you all night without sleep. To the 7th day, all the wild boars are scary. But Jinmu craves bacon. So we decided to set a trap to catch them. That night the boar walked around the trap, but it didn't get caught. The next morning, the trap is activated, but only takes a few hairs. You fix the trap. But for the next 5 days nothing was caught. She feels like she's raising pigs when the food is in reserve. Clean, thinking about girls at school who might be eating delicious cake you also crave. Until the 18th day, Jinwoo goes looking for food in the stream and saw a sleeping crocodile. Hungry so unbearable, she stabbed the crocodile in the head. And then you take it down with an axe in just a few shots, even though the action seems cruel. But to keep alive, Jinwoo had to do that. And the barbecue is really delicious. To avoid mosquitoes at night, Jinwoo thought of a way to mix iced tea with mud. It's all over the body and it works really well. All the mosquitoes flew away. To the 19th day, Jinwoo was awakened by the noise near the camp. She came to the trap and saw a little wild boar trapped. This time she had quality bacon. But after thinking, she decided to use an axe to cut the rope and release the pig. Because there's only 2 days of challenges and crocodile enough to hold on to the cute little pig. You can't kill. Especially after taking care of it for a few days. To the last day, Jinwoo successfully overcome the challenge alone. End of the journey this time. Subscribe to the channel to watch the next episode. See you guys later.